Looking back on it, the signs were there for quite some time. They were subtle, but they were there. Comments just vanished. Nor is this an isolated incident. I have a video that claims to have 3 comments, and only one of them is visible. I remember the other 2 comments because one of them happens to have been my response to the other one. I should probably start at the beginning. See, I actually was not the one who initiated contact with YouTube. Instead, I got sent this email. Now, I'm not showing the email header information and any of that, but I work in IT and we get a lot of spear phishing attacks. So let me just give you a quick warning. If you do get one of these emails, make sure you verify that it really is coming from YouTube. If someone is faking an email as if they work with YouTube, it could be an attempt to get you to give your credentials over to them. And the ability of people to send out fraudulent emails extends even to faking the email address to make it look like it's legitimate. So be extremely careful. If you have a VM, all the better. In this case, after verifying as best I could that the email really was from YouTube, I was curious. The email specifically says members of the community were concerned about some of the comments that I've posted on YouTube. Now that could mean literally anything. I haven't posted anything that is literally against any of their community guidelines, but with the ever-evolving definition of borderline content, I genuinely have no idea what this was in reference to. But as I mentioned in a previous video, the only thing they asked about when I clicked on that survey was what my opinion of YouTube was and what YouTube could do better. Because of that, I strongly suspect someone was upset with how many times I've called YouTube corporate tube and wished for it to lose Section 230 protections and my desire for YouTube to be punished for its anti-competitive, monopolistic, dictatorial crushing of free speech. I have opinions, what can I say? And those opinions have only solidified given their actions in response. In my previous video entitled The Problem with YouTube, I went over this in more detail. Suffice to say, after the things I said in that video, I was basically done with what I had to say with YouTube, until I noticed my comments were disappearing. At that point, I sent back an email to the people I had been communicating with before. The gist of that was detailed in my video titled Speak Not Against Your Overlords. It was a month or so ago, so I won't rehash that now. But suffice to say, YouTube insisted they do not shadow ban and passed on my complaints to their support team. And to be fair, the guy I was speaking with really did open a support case. I went over the details of that with another person there in YouTube, and they insisted, again, you can see here, we do not have a shadow ban, especially for comments. Then they gave some possible reasons why comments were disappearing. The problem is that I have enough evidence to show that none of those reasons could explain what was happening with my comments. See, I actually did enough troubleshooting because, as I mentioned, I work in IT, and this is part of what we do when we try to figure out why bugs are happening. So, what did I know by this point? Well, first, the disappearing comments that I was able to track only happened on videos that had just been uploaded, and only on the comments I made immediately after that video was uploaded. This isn't to say it didn't happen for other comments too, but I could consistently replicate this behavior a good 80% of the time. If I comment on a video before at least 30 minutes have gone by after the initial upload, those comments are the ones that disappear. But if it's after at least 30 minutes have gone by, then there's a good chance my comment will remain. Now, that doesn't sound like anything a browser could possibly mess up, and it doesn't really matter because updating my browser didn't change the problem anyway. And while I usually use Brave, I was able to replicate the problem in Chrome too. So it's not likely to have been a browser issue, nor is it likely to be an issue where the channel owner blocked me from the channel and then reinstated me, another theory that YouTube support proposed as a possibility. I mean, it's definitely possible for someone to accidentally hide someone from their channel, and that does delete all their comments if you do that. But when you unhide a user, it does not restore any of the deleted comments, and I was able to find several comments from the past videos from those same channels that my comments were disappearing on. Besides, it happened with several different channels. One content creator accidentally doing that could possibly happen, but all of them? That's ludicrous to think. On top of it, I knew that I wasn't using any blacklisted terms in any of these comments, Even on some comments where I might have used some stronger words, I normally don't use profanity, and other comments that were actually using profanity were not removed. Furthermore, these comments were all types of comments. It didn't have to be politically motivated, nor did I touch any hot button issues that social media have decided are verboten, because I totally need Papa Zuck and Mama Susan telling me what I'm permitted to talk about. I already have parents. I don't need social media to step in and tell me what I can or can't say. And so I started to record when I wrote comments. Now, this video is a little bit old now. It's from back when the Colorado Avalanche looked like they were not going to end up being the Colorado Maple Leafs. But reality hurts sometimes, especially if you like sports. You know, I feel you, Steve Dangle. I really feel you. But this happened after Game 2 of the Avs Golden Knights series. I haven't posted this video on my channel until now because I was giving YouTube's internal support a chance to look into it. But while I was told my video was passed on to that internal team for further review, the ticket was basically closed at that point and nothing has changed. So here it is on my channel to share publicly. There's no audio on this video because I was just watching the hockey guy, and I won't show the whole video here, but you can see that I'm writing the comments. And you can see that these comments got thumbs up on them and even responses to the comments. And then after I had gone to bed and got up in the morning, refreshing the screen, all the comments are gone. All of them. I don't show it here in the video, but if you go to that particular video and look for any of the ones that I made, any of those comments on other posts during that time period, all of them are gone. Now, you could read what I wrote, and there is no reason any of those comments would have triggered any filters for saying wrong thing. Yet all of those comments are gone, completely obliterated. I seriously doubt the hockey guy went through to find all my comments and deleted them himself, especially since if he had that kind of weird vendetta, he could just hide me from the channel and be done with it. And not only that, it's affecting other channels like the comments I left on Gens 95's videos during the same time period. You won't find my comments on their videos either. For that matter, I recently left a comment on Matthias Krantz's video where he hired professional pianists to play a piano he altered by putting actual hammers on the piano. And after refreshing that video, my comment was gone. Again, that comment fits the same current symptoms as everything else. I commented relatively soon after he had uploaded his video. Matthias had actually responded to some of my comments in the past, mostly because he does those things where he responds to everyone's comments for the first certain amount of time. But, regardless, he did respond to my comments. There's no bad blood between us. Everything is cool. There's no reason he would have removed my comment, especially since it was just something along the lines of how surprised I was that the piano actually sounded as good as it did, given what he had done to it. I could go on, but the point should be clear. What could possibly explain this type of behavior? It's not explained by other creators deleting my comments, because that would require some stupidly vast conspiracy of random YouTubers deciding to delete my comments in specific for no reason whatsoever, tied across multiple nations, multiple themes, multiple things that have nothing to do with politics or any of that. It's not explained by my browser, since it happens regardless of which browser I'm using. And for that matter, it actually happened on a completely different PC too. The only thing that can explain it is something to do with YouTube itself. That's the only common denominator here. YouTube claims they don't shadow ban. I think it's obvious that claim isn't worth the time it takes to flush it. But it is possible that this isn't shadow banning that's actually happening. It could just be complete programming incompetence at work. But even that is difficult to use as an explanation. I know that YouTube has different servers, and it's possible for those servers to get mixed up when trying to talk to each other. After all, that's why so many people claim to be first when they aren't. But people responded to my comments. That means that my comments were seen. And so at that point, my comment was on the same server as the response. If it was a different server causing the issue, then the responses to me would have had the same problem, right? So no, I don't buy any accidental reason for this happening. There's no legitimate bug that would target someone this specifically. So whatever it is, call it poor programming or whatnot, it clearly is specifically targeted poor programming, if that's what it is. But the reality is that at some point, this level of poor programming can only be explained by intent. But there is something else interesting going on. I've seen a lot of spam comments that happen on YouTube. I've had dozens of videos where as soon as I uploaded them, I got a notification that there's a comment. And I look and it's some stupid shortened URL with a timestamp pretending to be relevant to my video, but it's just a way to trick somebody into clicking the URL. I'm sure you guys have seen those. I usually just delete the comments when they appear on mine, but they always appear within seconds after I upload a video. And I've seen them on other people's videos too, right after those videos were uploaded too. So you know what would be a good way, if you were YouTube, to get rid of those types of comments? Would be if you ran a script soon after a video is uploaded, say within half an hour to maybe 45 minutes later. You just run a script that checks comments against a list of known spammers. And you delete those. Yeah, run that 30 to 45 minutes after a video is uploaded and nuke the most obvious spam. And if while doing this, you have this list of spammers and you just so happen to add somebody to that list of spammers, someone who you recently sent an email asking why you have problems with YouTube, perhaps that would just be unfortunate, wouldn't it, that that name somehow magically appeared on that list. And if you ever get caught, you just say, whoopsie, we made a boo-boo. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that sounds like it very well could fit all the data here, doesn't it? I mean, you could even pretend, if that's what you did, that you didn't shadow ban somebody. You just accidentally put them on the spammers list. So, yeah, that's kind of what I suspect happened here. Now, I don't have proof of it. This is just speculation, but it fits the data as I've seen it. If I respond to somebody within 30 to 45 minutes of their video going live, I pretty much guarantee that that comment is going to be gone and obliterated and never see the light of day. And the people who actually saw it during that time, who responded, who thumbs up, my comment just disappears for them as well. It's obliterated. And if it's the root comment, all the subsequent replies disappear at the same time too. So it's not just affecting me, it's affecting everybody there as well. Again, it is speculation. I can't prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt. I don't have access to the internal workings of YouTube. But something clearly is going on. I have the video evidence of this something going on. I'll just finish this video now with a quick update. As I'm recording this, I just got notified on my channel that I've got my 300th subscriber to my channel now. So thank you all, everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed and you like my content, go ahead and subscribe now. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. It apparently helps me somehow in the algorithm. Whether YouTube's going to continue to do that or not is anyone's guess. But the other thing that I noticed recently on my channel is the fastest growing video that I've got is finally one that's not my response to Presh Talwalkar. That is still the one with the most views at the moment. But the fastest growing one, which is almost caught up to my response to Presh Talwalkar, is my video on a pattern in primes. And if you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite ones, but I also think I can do better. And I'm hoping that in the near future I can get better graphics and redo some of these videos that I did with the factor field, because I really love the factor field. I could go into a lot more detail on a lot of those videos, and it might be worthwhile to do so. But I just think that that's better than speculating about any kind of politics and all of that stuff. Maybe those are the types of videos that YouTube will actually leave alone and not persecute me for my curiosity there. I'll leave that to other math nerds to persecute me for my curiosity there. In any case, I do hope that everybody who's watching has a wonderful day, and peace out.